It enhances your communication and quiets your thoughts. It also strengthens your immunity and heart-brain coherence. Hold the mudra with one hand or with both hands. Remain in this hand position while enjoying the video. Gently bring your ring finger and thumb together.
There's a good possibility then, in order for us to change, we better start thinking about what we've been thinking about in changing. We have to become conscious of our unconscious habits and behaviors and modify them. We got to look at these feelings that we feel every single day, and instead of just thinking it's a feeling, say, what is this? Is this guilt? Is this sadness? Is this unhappiness? Is this pain? Is it frustration? Is it resentment? What is the feeling that I'm living by the majority of my day? Now, that's lighting a match in a dark place. In neuroscience, it's called metacognition. The word meditation means to become familiar with. That's what it means. So the more familiar with you are, I can't, it's too hard, I'm never going to change, it's my ex's fault, it's my boss's fault, it's my country's fault, it's the government, it's the weather, it's my pain, whatever that thought is that you accept, believe, and surrender to on a daily basis that's automatic, you have to become so conscious of that unconscious thought that it doesn't slip by your awareness unnoticed. You got to catch yourself saying, I'm tired, I'm unhappy, it's someone else's fault. Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? That personality has to change in order to create a new life. So then you have to become so aware of your unconscious habits that you don't go unconscious to them in your waking day. Then you got to sit in the fire of those emotions, and you got to watch those emotions come up, and you have to sit with them and know that there's something on the other side of them. Now, this is where most people get up and say, I can't meditate, or I'm going to call up my friends, or I'm going to get on social media and make a post, I'm going to turn on the football game, I'm going to get distracted because I need something out there to make this go away. And what we're saying is, we're not relying on anything out there. That's the hypnosis, that's the conditioning. We want you to just become so familiar with that feeling that you catch yourself in your waking day. The moment you start feeling sad and your energy drops, you catch yourself. So there's an unlearning process, or a breaking the habit of being the old self process, that requires a lot of attention, a lot of awareness, and it takes energy. You gotta stay conscious, right? So that unlearning process, then, the hardest part about change is not making the same choices you did the day before. And the moment you decide to make a different choice, get ready, because you're going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel familiar. It's going to feel yucky. It's going to feel unpredictable. It's not going to feel good, because even people who feel sad and suffering, at least they can feel that, and that's familiar to them. So you're stepping out of the known into the unknown. Now, if you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your mind, that's a habit. So then the body, who's been conditioned into negativity, into sadness, into suffering, into pain, all of a sudden is saying, hey, Alex, it's been 2 hours since you've been complaining. I mean, you've been complaining for the last 20 years. You're just going to stop like that? So the body starts trying to influence the mind to return back to the same familiar territory. So the emotion starts saying, come on, you're a loser, you'll never change, it didn't work last time, start tomorrow. And those are the thoughts that are being influenced for the body, that are the same thoughts that people think all the time. So if they respond to that thought's going to lead to the same choice. That same choice is going to lead to the same behavior. The same behavior is going to create the same experience. The same experience is going to produce the same feeling. And they're going to say, oh, this feels right. Well, no, it feels familiar. The person who's crossing that river from the old self to the new self, that place, that discomfort, is not the known, it's the unknown. And that is the perfect place to create in. So then if you teach a person then, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? And with a certain amount of presence and attention and intention, they can begin to fire and wire those thoughts. Now, they're installing hardware in the brain. Keep doing it over and over again, and it becomes like a software program. It becomes more automatic. Now, that's the new voice in your head that says anything's possible. I can change. I'm worthy of success. I'm worthy of abundance. You program that. Nobody else did. You program that. Then you say, okay, how am I going to be with my family? How am I going to be in my relationship? How am I going to be in traffic today? How am I going to be on my Zoom calls? What would greatness look like today? If you sat down and you closed your eyes so you weren't distracted by the environment, that you weren't looking for your cell phone or for your coffee or whatever, you weren't eating, you weren't drinking, you weren't smelling, you weren't tasting, you weren't up and experiencing, you were sitting still, making your inner world more real than your outer world. And you rehearsed in your mind, you look like an athlete, and you rehearsed how you were going to be in any of those situations. The science of mental rehearsal says you can change your brain to look like you already did it. So with the practice of rehearsing how you're going to be in certain circumstances, you install more neurological hardware. The brain doesn't know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining. Do it enough times, install the hardware, it becomes a software program. Side effect, you start acting like that person. You start acting happy. Nobody did that for you. You installed the program. Then you say, okay, I'm not going to wait for my healing to feel gratitude. I'm not going to wait for my new relationship to feel love. I'm not going to wait for my success to feel abundance or empowerment. I'm going to teach my body emotionally what it feels like before the experience. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road, because you got to trade all those other emotions and you got to find that emotion and you got to be able to feel it and you got to condition your body into that state. Now, that is the reinvention of self. That is the relearning process. That is changing from one personality to another personality. Now, if you are a new personality and you're thinking differently and you're acting differently and you're feeling differently and you're not the old personality, then there should be evidence in your life by some synchronicities, some opportunities, some coincidence. Something comes to you. You don't have to go and get it in time. Somehow the opportunities seem to be flowing to you. And that's when you start paying attention to what you've been doing inside of you and you do more of it. So, simple process. You want to change? Sit down and become familiar with yourself. Write down those thoughts. I can't, it's too hard, I'll never change. Pick 3. Write down your behaviors. You make excuses for yourself. You procrastinate. You complain. I don't know, pick 3. And then think of 3 emotions. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm impatient. Okay. Well, that's the personality that has to go. Because if you want to be the new personality, you can't take anger into the future. That's not the new personality. So what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? Write them down. What behaviors do I want to demonstrate today? How am I going to be? What would love look like? Write those down and rehearse them in your mind so you prime your brain to do it. And then say, can I stay in my heart and feel love and gratitude independent of anything that's going on in my life? Now, if you can, and you write those emotions down, gratitude, appreciation, a love for life, a joy for existence, inspired, and you practice doing that, you're going to become familiar with a new self, and it's going to become natural and easy, and you become it. And so then people who do this, I ask them, where's the disease? Where's the disease? Where's the cancer? And they'll tell me, oh, it's in the old guy. I'm somebody else. It doesn't belong there. I'm somebody else. And so we see people having those dramatic changes. So meditation is a model that we use because the environment is so seductive that we have to close our eyes and disconnect from the environment. Our body has so many urges, so many things that it needs, and we have to sit our body down and tell it it's no longer the mind. that you're the mind for the next 40 minutes and you're going to condition it into a new future. You can't be thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow or what you're going to do on your to-do list. You're in the predictable future. You can't be romancing the emotions of the past. You're in the familiar past. You got to labor for the sweet spot of the present moment. That's where the unknown exists. So we've broken it down to teach people really the science of how to do this. And if they follow the formula and they do it the way we ask them to do it, we've seen so many incredible changes. So we have great evidence in our scientific research. We got great evidence in the testimony of people who have changed their lives. And I think evidence right now really is the loudest voice. And last point, everybody already knows how to do this. Everybody has done something great in their life, and they just got clear about their future. And they wrote down all the things, the choices they were going to make, the things they were going to do, their goals, their experiences, how they would feel. They wrote down how they had to stop thinking, what choices they had to stop making. They kept reviewing the things they had to stop doing. They had to stay away from certain people, certain experiences, so they didn't return back to the old self. They got clear on the emotions that would bring them back to no longer seeing the vision of their future, because the emotion causes them to see their future through the lens of the past. And they practice every day, not because they have to, because they understand the process of change. And then when their life starts to change as a result of their inner changes, now it's no longer a have to. It's no longer, oh God, I gotta go do my meditation. It's like, I don't want the magic to end. I want it to keep going. And so one of the things I'm proud of with our community is that we're doers, and people do the work not because they have to, but because they love all the amazing things that's happening in their life, and they wouldn't miss a day because they don't want the magic to end.